Chelsea Football Club have got their targets set, and Victor Osimhen is Mauricio Pochettino's first choice striker. Yet we have Brighton's owners that believe they can literally pull our pants down once again, and they think Chelsea are willing to pay above 115 million for Evan Ferguson. We're going to talk about that. And then the big question, the question where I'm going to come across maybe not popular. Rumours have it Conor Gallagher's up for a new contract, which we all agree. However, how much is he actually worth? I've had comments like, pay him whatever Reece is getting, pay him whatever Ben is getting. Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to break down what the best midfielders in the league get, what the worst midfielders in the top 6 get, and then we're going to come up with a salary that we think is the right benchmark for Conor Gallagher to receive. The reality is, if his agent can secure him more, good on him. But if his agent can't, I wouldn't be against Chelsea letting this player go. Let's talk about it. Let's break this down. Let's be objective. Let's get a little bit analytical and make sure you lot enjoy it. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Kavkas View, brother. You heard the running order. You clearly enjoy what you're seeing. But before we commence, do me a favor. 650 likes on yesterday's video. We were aiming for 750. Can we hit it today, please? Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you have been here for a while, hit the bell notification. No excuses, man. One more thing. Start sharing my content out. Clipping the parts that you find most interesting and sending it around to your friends, family, your socials. Honestly, all that jazz does the best support. It's the best way you guys can spread this channel because you clearly enjoy it. You're all coming back. So, shout out to the Londoners Blue podcast, even though they've blocked me on Twitter. A lot of that might have come through the fact that I may have not been Frank Lampard's biggest fan when he was our gaffer the first time around, and I really liked Mauricio. Sorry, but people didn't like my opinions back then. It is what it is. We can move on. It's a football opinion. Sue me. But the reality is, they always get Matt Law. As much as I don't like Matt Law's views 9 out of 10 times, I think he's very entertaining. I think Matt Law has got great insight, and his opinions stink, but his information doesn't. That's just the reality, and at the end of the day, I think he'd appreciate me saying that, purely based on the fact that he doesn't get paid for his opinions, he gets paid for the fact that he gets good, credible information out there and informs the general public. 9 out of 10 times, I'm reading the information anyway. So now we're going to talk about it. Matt Law said the ideal person that Mauricio Pochettino would want next year is Kylian Mbappe. Everyone laughed, but that's not going to happen, so the first choice player is Victor Osimhen. That is very interesting for me because Pochettino didn't want Vlahovic in the summer, and Pochettino is adamant we needed more experience. So the fact now that he wants Victor Osimhen is very interesting for me because Osimhen is experienced, he is prolific, but I've got some question marks about his health. Otherwise, I think he's fantastic. Like, he is my first choice before anyone starts ramming down, how dare you not want Victor Osimhen? No, bro, I do want Osimhen. I think if we can sign anybody in the world at number 9 at this moment in time, I would go for him. Like, genuinely, I think he's prolific. I think he's got the it factor. I think he's a complete number 9 in the sense that he is what we need. So he's complete for us. He might not give you that jinkity-majinky link up and what Luis Suarez gave you, but trust me, he gives you that presence. He gives you extravagant finishes, and he keeps you on the edge of your seat. Plus, I think he is so smart with his movement, and he uses his attributes such as pace, power, and intelligence in movement to a better factor than most people do. So for me, Victor Osimhen is a must. However, Matt Law thinks this deal can only happen in the summer. And I don't know what we're going to do because the reality is we need reinforcements now. I don't think we can count on Christopher Nkunku, Armando Broja, and Nicholas Jackson if we want to be a serious team that makes top 4 this year. Look, the reality is we have left ourselves with a big jump. And when I say a big jump, I mean there are around about 26 games left. I think for us to make top 4, we are credibly going to have to win at least 18 of them. Like, we are going to have to win 22 games this year to, without a doubt, say, you know what, we're making top 5, top 4, Champions League football next year. To do that, we need to start winning games now, and then we need some reinforcements to make sure we get across that line. That is a lot, I understand, but this is the task at hand at this moment in time. So we need to be realistic, and there are rumors that we could be going after Victor in January. I highly doubt it. I really do. I don't think Napoli will allow that. I think Napoli will want to hang on to their asset, and they will not want to get rid of him this early. That's my personal opinion. The next story that we need to talk about is the one around Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson apparently is going to be worth around about £115 million or more from Brighton, and Chelsea are interested. According to TalkSport's Alex Crook, Whilst Alex Crook has got a lot of sources in Brighton, and we know that, we've seen Tony Bloom in the studio talking to TalkSport, so clearly there's a tie over there. And more importantly, the whole Caicedo saga, Alex Crook was all over it. He was giving us information. He was feeding the YouTube street. I remember talking about him more than ever. Like, I was even getting to the point and saying, Mr. Crook, are you lying to us? But the reality is he wasn't. The deal got through. And I think this is getting fed through. Tony Bloom, apparently, the owner of Brighton, believes they can get a lot more for the Irishman. Whilst I think he's a good player, and whilst I think there's going to be one heck of a player, I don't want him nowhere near Chelsea. Number one, I don't want to do with Brighton, a business with Brighton ever again. If I never have to hear the word Brighton ever again, I'll be happy. I am sick and tired of buying players off them and like them literally just delaying, and then us paying stupid money. Number two, I do not think Evan Ferguson's what we need. We do not need another 19, 20-year-old project. All right, we've already got Broja, we've already got Jackson. We need some provenness. We need, if that's a word, we need some guarantees. We need someone experienced. We need someone who's been there, done that, played Champions League, been there, done that, won a league title, been there, done that, where like is proven at international level. I think we need a Victor Osimhen. I think we need to go and get a proper number 9 that is proven. Whilst I think Ferguson's going to be a top caliber player one day, I'm not here waiting 5 years for him to develop. Especially the way strikers develop. Strikers tend to develop at the age of 25, 24, 25. When they're the target man, they're complete. Do any of you really want to wait 4 years? No, because we're Chelsea fans. We want to win trophies. We want to be realistic in what we can aspire. And we don't want to pay stupid money for another signing that is not going to come in most probably. And we're just going to have to go, we have to be patient. No, I'm not on it. I don't want that. So I want to hear your opinions. Would you prefer Evan Ferguson? Would you prefer to stick with Nicholas Jackson, Broja and Nkunku? Or would you like to bring Osimhen? Or maybe Ivan Toney? That's actually a good question as well. I'll put that to a poll. We'll talk about that as well. That will be in the community page. Make sure you hit that. So before we move on though, do me a massive favor. If you made it this far, have to hit the like button and subscribe. Because guys, I'm going to be bugging you lot a lot about this because the subscriptions are not going up and the goal of 35k by the end of the year is becoming out of reach slowly. Now, let's move on to the next part of the story. So everyone that watches this channel knows that what a lot of people believe about Conor Gallagher and what I see is completely different. And I think a lot of people say I tend to be overly harsh on Conor Gallagher and that my view on Conor Gallagher is not consistent with what majority of the Stamford Bridge faithful believe. It is what it is. It's a game of opinions. I'm not saying I'm correct because I'm not here ever to tell you guys you're fully wrong. This is not right. You don't know what you're talking about because it's opinions, right? We all have one and we're all allowed to communicate. So what I wanted to do is I saw an article where Conor Gallagher on England duty is talking about his new contract at Chelsea potentially. He says he loves the club, wants to stay. No doubt in that. This man loves Chelsea, bleeds blue, wants to stay, help. Agreed. Then he talks about he wants the deal to get done, conversations going on with his agents, blah, 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 blah. You get the gist. I started seeing some rhetoric about how much he should be getting paid. And people are saying he should be getting paid at the same amount as Reece. Some said at the same amount as Ben Chilwell. So one of the top earners at the club. And what I think is that's ludicrous. And people are like, well, he's performing great now. Yes, he's performing great now. It's been 12 games and we're 10th. Like, you can't be paying people like one of the best players in the league when Chelsea are 10th. You know, yes, he's had a few good games. Yes, he's had a good purple patch. But you can't pay him based on 3 months. By that logic, Marcus Rashford will have to get the best contract ever because he always has 3 months time spans where he's absolutely phenomenal. Then he does nothing for 6 months. So what I did was a little exercise where I went through and I looked at what the top 5 clubs, excluding Spurs because they don't pay big wages, pay their players and what their squad players are worth. So, and then we're going to do a little exercise now. So play along if you guys are there. And whether you think this player should be getting paid more than Conor Gallagher. Kevin De Bruyne, I think we know the answer to that. Kevin De Bruyne should be getting paid more. Phil Foden should be getting paid more. Rodri should be getting paid more. Silva should be getting, Bernardo should be getting paid more. The one where I said, maybe he should be getting the same, Mateo Kovacic. That's around about £7.8 million, right? For me, Kovacic's final deal, Gallagher's going into his prime. Gallagher could most probably, with English tax, say, you know what, I'm a homegrown player. I should be getting paid in and around there. So that's 7 million. That's a benchmark at City. That's their 5th choice midfielder, £7.8 million a year. Then we move on to Manchester United. We got Casemiro. I think Casemiro's legacy inflated his salary. Mason Mount, basically a free agent, the way he joined, 13 million a year. That is stupid business. Gallagher can ask for that. Chelsea should run. There is no way he's worth 13 million. You're telling me, yeah, this is Gallagher is Mount is worth double what Kovacic is at Manchester City. No chance. This is bad structural building, and this is the type of contracts you don't want on your books. Bruno is on 12 million. He gets less than Mason Mount. I think Bruno is a better player than Gallagher. My personal opinion. Eriksen's around about £7 million. Eriksen's final deal. Man United inflated tax. I think he's getting overpaid. Personally, I wouldn't pay him that much. But once again, that £7 million mark, yeah, Gallagher over Eriksen, yeah, we could argue that. Then we look at Liverpool, and I think Liverpool is a well-run club. So this is where it gets very interesting. Thiago gets 14 million. We know why. Thiago Alcantara joined in the prime of his career, basically as a free agent, if I'm not mistaken, and he got the bag. And then there's the three signings this year. Gravenberch, 7.8 million, because he was already on inflated salary from Bayern Munich. Alexis McAllister, 7.2 million. Szoboszlai, 6.2. That is the range of players that Gallagher could fall into. I personally think Szoboszlai is better than Gallagher. I think Alexis McAllister is the same level as Gallagher. And I think Gravenberch, I don't know yet. Haven't seen enough of him. I don't know too much to compare the two. I don't watch Liverpool as religiously as I watch Chelsea Football Club, because I run a Chelsea content channel, and I love Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fan. So obviously I'm going to watch that. Then we look at Arsenal. Havertz is stealing a living. Martin Odegaard, crazy money. But for me, Martin Odegaard's better than Conor Gallagher. I think Kai Havertz should be better than Conor Gallagher. That's a question. Thomas Partey is better than Conor Gallagher. Now we get into the range of where Conor Gallagher we can compete. Zinchenko or Conor Gallagher? Zinchenko is a centre midfielder by trade. Should he be getting paid the same amount? I don't know. That's the value. Jorginho or Conor Gallagher? At this stage in their careers, Jorginho is on 5.8 million. I think Conor can ask for a bit more. That's just my personal. Now we look at Chelsea. Enzo apparently is on 15 million. So Enzo is one of the better players at Chelsea Football Club, right? That is a big signing. That is crazy wages. And I think that's due to the fact that we rushed that over the line. They panicked, they did whatever it took, and they paid whatever it was. Partially, I think we overpaid. I'm not gonna lie to you, in wages. Caicedo, 7.2 million. So you can't justify Gallagher being on the same as Caicedo. I don't think they're the same level of player. I think Caicedo is better than Gallagher. That's my personal opinion. Carney Chukwuemeka, 5.2 million. Cole Palmer, 3.6 million. And there is the information. And for me, I think Gallagher should be in and around somewhere between 5.2 and 7 million. And the reason I say that range is because the players that are getting paid around the league for being 4th or 5th choice, that's what they're getting paid. And that's what Gallagher is in a three-man midfield. He's not better than Romeo Lavia on potential, and I don't even think he's better than him right now. I think Caicedo playing in the Gallagher role would be better. I think Enzo is a better player. Maybe this purple patch has clouded people's judgment, but I am keeping Gallagher. Before anybody attacks me, I am keeping Gallagher. Because what do I call him? I call him our Park Ji-sung. I think he is amazing to have for big games. His effort, his tenacity, his adrenaline, he is needed. He is like a EpiPen for this team. He basically gives you that boost when you need it most. For me, he stays, but the salary, questionable. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know your thoughts, hit the like button. Peace out, I'm out. Bye-bye.